So here we are at Aston le Walls. This was Simon's first ever run at Novice, and the first Novice that I've done since 2015. So I was feeling a little bit anxious before the event, because you just never know how well a horse is going to cope when you step up. The dressage test actually scored 28.5, which is a lovely score. I think the judge was possibly on the generous side, but I'll take a sub 30 when I can get it, because they don't happen for us very often. You can still see he's a little bit more downhill in the trot than I would like him to be, and the canter just a little bit laboured in the transition, but then coming into a reasonably pleasant canter when we get there. We've got medium up the long sides. Can't really see from this angle, thank God. It's one of those tests where everything's going fairly smoothly, and there's not a lot to dislike about it, so we're not losing lots of marks. But equally, there's not a lot of stunning work either. But I will take 28.5, particularly when that puts us kind of right in the middle of what was a big section and a competitive section with lots of very good riders who've ridden at a much higher level than I have. There was a lady lunging the horse next door that you can see in the arena alongside, and she did ask when I came in if she was okay to keep lunging before I started my test, and I said please do, and if you can get him bronking as he's going around, that would be even better. Unfortunately, the horse continued to behave itself very well on the lunge, but I could have done with something to brighten Simon up a bit. So you've just seen the extended walk. It's a good job I actually read the test just before I went to warm up, because I'd assumed it was a free walk on a long rein, and it wasn't. It was an extended walk, so actually they didn't want you to lengthen the contact and let the horse stretch. So I think he actually did quite a nice job of demonstrating an extended walk of some kind there. Again, another medium, not a great angle, but it's happening. And one last, not very spectacular, lengthen strides in trot. Not his forte, but he tries. So yeah, it felt like we've been trying a long time to be ready to get up to Novice, and it's taken a while with Simon because he's not naturally a really confident horse. And he had 2 years off when he was pretty much written off with injuries, and we've been really lucky to get him back. And then COVID struck, and I thought we wouldn't have a season, so just so happy to be able to get him out and doing the job. Having been worried at the start of the week it was going to be too hot, it absolutely peed it down for our show jumping. Oh, deep to the first. So yeah, when I'd tacked him up for show jumping, it hadn't started raining yet. I only put tiny little studs in behind, and then I quite quickly realised when we started our round and had an awkward turn there that actually he was going to slip and slide all over the place. That had me riding a little bit more backwards than I should have done. So what you're about to see here, walked 8 strides and then another 8 strides, and you can just see I land a little bit short and then have to sit and wait for 9. And then because he's already been a little short over that, I sat and waited for the 9 strides again. Oh, it's hammering it down. That one bounced in its cups, but it stayed there. And now you're about to see my nemesis, the treble, and I see a ridiculous long stride, and this horse is so clever. He said, "Rachel, you're an idiot." Popped in a short one, still manages to clear it and makes it out over the treble, making the 2 stride distances without any bother. So that was 100% horse talent and 0% rider talent there. Getting my act back together, get the rhythm back in the canter, nice jump there. And then to the final double. Lovely. And that's me thinking, oh my God, I've actually never jumped a clear round in a novice show jumping, and this horse has just gone and done it at the first attempt, which is shocking, really. Okay, the cross country. So I think this was fence 5, so coming to 6, the water. A little bit of a growl here because he just clocked the water behind that fence and he's not the sharpest off the leg. Nicely out. Then you can see from this angle, I should have cut this corner far more. What was I doing? I was going on a tour of the Aston le Walls grounds here. Nice big table, looks much smaller from this angle, but it was a decent fence to look at. Lovely shot there. And then pushing him on away. I did, even though I knew I wasn't going to be super competitive, I still did my minute markers because I wanted to make sure I was riding this first part of the course in the correct novice rhythm. So even though I knew I was going to take an alternative at the coffin right towards the end of the course, at least I knew that for the first 3/4 of the course we were going the right speed and in the right rhythm. It's got a really nice shot over this hedge. So nearing the end of the course now, still travelling really well, absolutely no problems with his fitness. But this is the moment where I did actually take the alternative rather than the hanging log and then ditched the log out. That's been in the intermediate before, so I was a bit cautious about it. But then we do go the straight route here at the water. Good boy. And rather than doing a big leap in, he just pops it so easy. So double clear, amazing.